I am held captive by my phone, a victim of my own cravings. The constant urge to check notifications, scroll through social media, and respond to messages has consumed me, leaving me powerless. But I'm not alone. We all have our addictions, our personal vices that we turn to in times of distress. It might be the morning coffee that we can't live without, the urge to shop or gamble, or the desire for the rush of risky behavior. Our addictions aren't just poor habits, they're compulsions, a desperate hunt for something to fill the emptiness in our lives. We're like moths that are drawn to the flame's enticing glow, even though it burns us. When we're addicted, we try to escape the pain of real life, but it actually makes things worse in the long run. To stop this pattern, we need to understand our cravings and face the hurt we're trying to avoid. Only then can we find healthier ways to satisfy our needs and overcome our addictions. So yes, I'm an addict, but I'm also someone who's striving to reclaim control of my life. And by telling my story, I hope to motivate others to do the same. Anna Lembke's book, The Dopamine Nation, illustrates the concept of balance between pleasure and pain using the tightrope analogy. Imagine yourself walking on a tightrope. On one side is pleasure, and on the other is pain, both balanced equally. But when you do things that give you a rush of happiness, like shopping or gambling, the pleasure side of the rope goes down, giving you a feeling of excitement. However, this happiness doesn't last long, and soon the rope starts to tip towards pain, making you want more of that initial pleasure. Lemke explains that pleasure and pain are processed in the same brain region, and the brain is constantly seeking balance. When you indulge in activities that release dopamine in your brain, the balance between pleasure and pain goes out of whack. To make up for it, your brain will bring in more pain to balance things out. If you keep chasing pleasure, you'll end up feeling even more pain later on. The issue is that your brain gets used to the dopamine release, which can lead to addiction. But as you keep doing your drug of choice, the pleasure you get from it decreases, and it becomes harder to stop. To break free, you need to realize that things are out of balance and find healthier ways to enjoy life. Addiction can feel like being lost in a dense forest with no direction or map to guide you. It's easy to feel hopeless and trapped, but there is a way out. It starts with acknowledging the problem and understanding the concept of diminishing marginal utility. Chasing pleasure only leads to a dead end, and breaking the cycle of addiction requires effort, determination, and the willingness to take a new path. To find a way out, we must find healthier ways to cope with our emotions and create a new balance in our brains. We need to identify healthy activities that release dopamine, such as exercise or meditation, and learn to sit with uncomfortable emotions, processing them without relying on instant gratification. Breaking free from addiction is like finding a new path out of the forest, one that leads to a brighter future. It requires creating a new balance in our brains, based on healthy habits and a deeper understanding of ourselves. Though it's not easy, it's worth it. The solution may seem extreme, but it's a method that works. Abstaining from your drug of choice for an entire month. Think of it as an extended dopamine fast or dopamine detox. By doing so, you can achieve tangible results and regain control over your unwanted behaviors. To make this work, you first need to identify your triggers. What sets off your cravings? Is it certain people or places? Boredom? Stress? Once you know what they are, you can take steps to avoid or change them. Even with all the triggers removed, you may still experience cravings. Therefore, the second step is to optimize your environment by distancing yourself from anything that could increase cravings. That leads to step 3, which is to create a barrier between you and your drug of choice so that it isn't easy to consume. The fourth step is to find something to fill the void left by the behavior you're trying to quit by replacing it with new hobbies or activities. The final component of this plan is to challenge yourself every day. By doing something difficult each day, you build self-discipline, which can help you stay on track. It could be as simple as making your bed or doing the dishes. Remember, it may be tough, but once you've made it through the month, you'll have developed the habits and self-discipline you need to continue on this path. So take control and give it a try. Abstaining from a bad habit can seem counterproductive, right? Wouldn't an addict desire their drug even more afterwards? There are 2 fascinating reasons why it actually works. Firstly, our brains are neuroplastic, constantly forming new connections and breaking old ones. When we engage in a behavior, the synapses in our brain get stronger, making it more likely for us to repeat that behavior in the future. By abstaining, we weaken and eventually break those connections, rewiring our brain to make it easier to resist temptation. The second reason why abstaining works is because it allows the pain-pleasure balance to reset. Addiction causes us to constantly seek out a dopamine hit, making everyday activities feel less pleasurable. When we abstain, our brain readapts to the absence of the drug, and we start to find pleasure in simpler things again. The cravings weaken, and we're able to enjoy life without constantly seeking out the next fix. When we do something repeatedly, our brain makes strong connections that are hard to break, like ski tracks in the snow. This makes it tough to resist urges, especially for addicts. For them, completely stopping is usually the best option, but for less severe cases, moderation can work. Setting limits, like only doing it at certain times, can help avoid going too far. Abstaining from physical substance addiction can be difficult, and a doctor's advice is crucial to manage possible withdrawal symptoms. It's important to stay alert since our brain connections can be reactivated. Some people may not be able to control their use, and even a single exposure could reignite their addiction. It's important to be mindful of the behavior we engage in daily, especially activities that lead to large increases in dopamine. The food industry creates food with the perfect combination of salt, sugar, and fat to make it impossible to eat just one piece of chocolate. Social media giants spend countless hours testing and tweaking algorithms to keep us on their platform longer. We need to be aware of these tactics and take control of our lives to avoid creating tracks on a snowy hill that we don't want to be part of our lives. To break free from addiction, you don't have to add new behaviors to your life. Instead, focus on getting rid of the ones that are holding you down. It's important to remember that addictive behaviors don't actually help you cope with your emotions. In fact, they might be the root cause of your problems or amplifying them. By shedding away those behaviors, you can take control of your life and live a more balanced life. So take it one addiction at a time and start feeling better. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to pop the subscribe button and watch more of our videos.